Good morning, folks. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Advisory. Hope you guys are enjoying White Lie Wednesday. At the time of recording, it's Wednesday, and this is my white lie. I am not real. I am an AI-powered robot from the future, sent here to encourage folks to be good to themselves and others before it's too late. You know, every time somebody sees me in the hallway, they're surprised that I'm real, that I don't just live in this little box on your TV screen during Advisory. And so I thought I would put all those rumors to rest and let you know that I am not real. But in keeping with my directive on this planet and in this timeline, I will be helping you today to be kinder to yourself and others through conflict resolution. Conflict is a normal part of life. Everybody has their own ideas of what is right, of what should happen, of what is true. We all have our own independent ideas and thoughts and experiences, and sometimes that butts heads with another person's experience or thoughts or ideas. And that's when we have conflict. And that is a very normal thing. Without conflict and conflict resolution, we would just be weirdly like fake nice to each other all the time. Everything's great. So first, I want you to think about who do you come into conflict with most often? All right, if you think about it, it's usually not going to be just random people on the streets. It's usually going to be people that we know and are close with. Maybe you come into conflict with some of your friends. Maybe your relationships, you've got some conflict as you're trying to figure out how to be together. I know this is going to be a shocker, but sometimes we come into conflict with our teachers or other adults that are, in charge of us, like parents. We've also maybe come into conflict with our family from time to time, right? The thing is, these people are closest to us, and so it makes a lot of sense that we would come into conflict with them the most often. Think about it in a different light, okay? Instead of thinking about the conflict, think about it in these terms. Who do you want to build a better relationship with? That's the kicker. And that's what conflict resolution really does, is it helps us build relationships better with the people that we care about. These are the folks that you have to deal with the most often, and that's why it's so important to also learn how to resolve conflict with these people when it comes up. I want you to imagine for a moment this scenario right here. So if you look at this, it's an elephant, and there are 6 people all around the elephant, and they are all blindfolded, okay? They cannot see what they are feeling. I do feel sorry for the elephant in this situation. He looks like he just wants to be left alone.
Please stop touching me, you bunch of weirdos.
But this is a great illustration on how other people's perspectives can be different from our own and how that can lead to conflict. Okay, so imagine there are these 6 people. They all have blindfolds on, and they are all at different parts of this elephant. So you may have the person over here that feels the tusks and say, oh, this is a spear, or it's a long stick, or something like that. It's a tree branch, just because he only feels the tusks of the elephant. Maybe this person down here says, it's a snake, because all they can feel is the trunk of the elephant, and that might feel like a snake to them. The person next to the legs feels the legs and thinks, oh, this is a tree trunk. This is obviously a tree trunk. There's no way it could be anything else other than a tree trunk. This person, who somehow got up on a ladder while blindfolded, is feeling the big side of the elephant and saying, oh, this is clearly a wall. The person up top who can feel the ears maybe thinks that, oh, it's a fan, or it's like one of those big leaves that you find in the jungle. And then finally, this poor guy on the back of the elephant, not exactly where you want to be. He's holding onto the tail, and he feels the frayed ends of the tail, and he thinks, oh, this is clearly a rope. So if you look at all these different people on different parts of this elephant, none of them have the full picture. They are only experiencing one part of the elephant. And so it makes sense in a way that these people don't know that it's an elephant, that they are making, all of these crazy guesses. But this is an illustration on how conflicts begin, all right? The big point here is that you may not have all of the information. You may, in a conflict or just in life, not have every bit of information that may help you resolve a conflict or figure out what's going on the other side of a conflict. So because we only have our own experiences, and because we have to live in a world with other people that have their own experiences, we have to think about how to resolve conflicts amongst ourselves when we disagree, like those folks that were all around the elephant. And so when you're in conflict, when your perspectives don't match up with another person's, these are the 4 questions that you can ask yourself to really help the conflict move more smoothly and resolve more peacefully. The first question is, what is going on in their world. And there's a reason this is number one, because this is the first thing you should be thinking of whenever you are in conflict with someone or whenever you disagree with someone. And that's really tough because that is the last thing that we often want to do. What is going on with them that might be causing them to disagree with me in this way or to talk to me in this way? What is going on in their world that maybe is making them sad or angry that is now being kind of put onto me through this conversation? But you're really not going to get anywhere with conflict until you take a moment to ask this question. What is going on in their world? What's going on with them? Number two is, what is important to them at this time? Do they need me to listen? Do they need me to give advice? Do they need me just to be here with them? If the person is in conflict with me, is it important for them to be left alone at the moment? Is it important to maybe put the conflict aside for the moment and come back whenever everybody has a more level head? But asking this question can often get to the root of the problem before the major conflict even starts. What is important to the person that I'm talking to at this time? Okay, I want you to stop and notice something about those first two questions. Who are they about? What's going on in their world asks to kind of put your experiences to the side for a moment and think about their experiences and what they are bringing to the table. And then what is important to them at this time, or what sort of needs do they have in this conversation, can be very important to answer as well. Because if you're able to provide that, then maybe there doesn't need to be any sort of conflict whatsoever. And these things are very, very hard to do whenever we are in conflict and we think that we are right, or we want to win, or we are trying to get one over on the other person. Our usual thought whenever we are in conflict is, how can I succeed? How can I get out of this conflict with my wants and needs met? But if you stop for a moment and think about what's going on in the other person's world and what is important to them at this time, then usually the conversation goes more smoothly and you can both work to iron out the conflict in a way that works for both of you. Something to think about. The next two questions do actually focus on yourself. Number three is, am I listening to understand or am I listening to defend? Obviously, when it comes to conflict, you can't be the only one talking. Otherwise, nothing is going to get done, and you're not going to make many friends that way. So you have to do some listening whenever it comes to conflict. You have to hear the other person out for whatever they are trying to say. But there is a specific way that you can listen, and that is to understand rather than defend. If you're listening to defend, that means that all you're thinking of whenever the other person is trying to explain their perspective is, ooh, I can't wait until it's my turn to talk.
Can't wait until it's my turn to talk. I am gonna, that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong. I'm gonna
Annihilate them.
Whenever it's my turn to talk. But when you do that, you are not actually listening or hearing what the other person is saying. You have to actively listen to understand rather than listening to try to win or counter that person's part of the argument. This one is especially hard for me because I tend to think that I am right about a lot of things. And I am about some things, but definitely not everything. And so sometimes I just need to remind myself when it comes to listening that I need to shut up.
shut up.
Sometimes it's just a good reminder that let me stop talking, let them talk, and maybe I can understand their perspective a little bit better and we can move forward. And the fourth question to ask yourself when it comes to conflict resolution is, have I clearly communicated my perspective? It is super important whenever you have a conflicting idea or experience or perspective than someone else to clearly communicate what it is you think and what it is you feel. You know, I actually hear Miss Wing say this a lot. It's the phrase, clear is kind. And that just means that it is kind to think about what your perspective is deeply enough so that you can communicate it very clearly to the other person. A lot of conflict just comes out of misunderstandings that can be avoided if people were to clearly communicate and listen to understand. If you stop and ask these questions when it comes to an argument or some sort of conflict with the people that you are around, then you may find that people are kinder to you and that they listen to your perspective a lot more easily, and all communication just gets healthier. So remember, when it comes to conflict resolution, that conflict is inevitable, which means that it's going to happen. You're going to get into conflict with people for the rest of your life. There's no way around it. But fighting is optional. In your discussion, you're going to think about the difference between conflict and fighting and how we can be healthier about our conflict so that it doesn't get to fighting. And I mean fighting whether it's throwing unkind words or throwing hands. There's just no reason for it. We can resolve conflict without needing to fight. That's all for me today. Enjoy the discussion on the next slides. Be good to yourself and others before it's too late. And I'll see you real soon.